And I've been really going to meet with folks in the community, not elected people, not politicians, but folks in the community. So there's a nonprofit in Jackson that serves the families there who cannot afford to buy uniforms for their kids for school, and also gives counseling to the parents. And so I went to go visit there, and I met one of the women who received support, and she and I went grocery shopping with her. She is a mother of 3 children. She receives SNAP benefits. She has 2 sons and a daughter. She likes to do hair, but she doesn't have a license, so she's putting herself through cosmetology school while she's taking care of her children. She has a weekly food budget for the 4 of them of $150. This is a woman who has grace and dignity. And at one point, after she's putting different things in the cart, telling me what her kids like, I asked her, well, what's in the cart for you? And this was the only time she broke down to tell me that she'll eat whatever it is the kids don't end up eating. We then go to the last aisle in the store, and she picks this big crate of a bottled water, because as she explained to me, the water coming out of the tap is brown, and sometimes it's so bad she cannot bathe her children in that water. And then we keep talking, and she asks me, she says, I'm not alone. There are a lot of people like me where I live. And the point she made that was so difficult to know is she said, don't these people see me? Don't they see me?
On behalf of foundational Black Americans, we demand cash payment reparations, Kamala. On behalf of foundational Black Americans, we demand cash payment reparations. You're not going to use our ancestors' legacy to give money to illegal immigrants. We're foundational Black Americans. We built this country. We're not voting for you. We're not voting for the Democrats. And we're not voting for anybody until we get paid. Remember that. FBA. Turn around. FBA. Cash payment reparations. Reparations.
When I am elected president, I will sign that
bill. Might have to drop a dime on this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
All right, y'all, we back with another video, man. Y'all know how we do. Always push and help wealth and a better understanding of self. So check this out in this video, y'all. We're going over Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett. They both are getting bad publicity out here by FBA. They never really stood for us. They never really wanted to push policies that was for us. And we know that they tethered. Jasmine Crockett is right now, she is, looking for a law firm to work with. She's crying in front of people. Okay, she had a tethered security guard that got taken out by the police. It's just looking weird for her right now. As far as somebody being able to put her in her business with all of this scrutiny that she's facing by her own people and the Democrat Party. But I'm gonna play this video. We're gonna get into a little bit of Kamala Harris, a little bit of Jasmine Crockett. Make sure y'all hit that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get it.
All right. 6 years ago, no one. All right. She's in there with him. All right. I gotta get through this. 6 years ago, no one believed that I could become a state representative. We were outspent 5-1.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're outspent 5-1. There were a couple of organizations, progressive organizations, that were like, this is our candidate. We want to go with the one.
Now that little clip is going around and some people are sharing it as if it were her getting choked up at losing the election. But that was actually before the election, y'all. That was her getting choked up at just being in the election. Maybe she had a premonition that she was about to get blown out the water, y'all, because as I had told you plenty of times before in many different videos about your girl, the Democratic leadership, the establishment, they had already rejected her for leadership positions in the party. She had already become disillusioned with them. She was, like on again, off again with the Democratic leadership. I had no doubt that she would not become the nominee. And maybe she had a premonition of that, y'all. But now that she has lost, she has gone full-blown election denier, y'all. So if you ever hear her talking about Donald Trump and his not accepting the elections of 2020, well, now she is in his company because she does not accept the elections of 2026, y'all. Check this out.
Question number 7. What concrete action is actually happening to stop voter suppression from happening again in Dallas? Woo-wee. Yeah, that silence, that's what I'm hearing. All right, so let me recap for you the chaos of the day. Myself, as well as Colin Allred, were in the process of filing litigation because it had become clear that people were being disenfranchised. And this was all recorded by national news and everyone. And we were getting phone calls actually from news reporters about the fact that they were at polls and they were seeing people turned away. We anticipate that no less than 100,000 people were disallowed from voting. And it's an extrapolation based upon the fact that Tarrant County was performing well, but Dallas was crushing everybody. And Dallas is larger. And somehow Tarrant County really closed that gap on Dallas just on election day.
It's just crazy that, she was talking about Trump saying that he said they stole the elections from him. And now she's saying the same thing. The irony of that. Now, she did a lot of caping for immigrants, okay, out in Texas. And her excuse was they're the most that's out here, okay? Like if you run in Texas, you're going to have to care about, the Mexicans. But we don't care about none of that. Let's let it play.
And so we anticipate that no less than 100,000 people did not have an opportunity to cast their votes. And then we had the confusion with the Supreme Court. And then we had, I think they said over 20,000 ballots, or I don't know, it was some amount of ballots with the 2. It could have been 2,000 or 20,000, maybe 2. I don't know. But it was a number of ballots that started with 2 that they kind of had in this limbo status, which also was wrong.
All right, y'all. So she don't even have, the backing. When she said 5-1, she didn't have the backing of us at all. And the Spanish person that she went up against, he had his own culture. Of course, they're going to support him over. That's why I felt like it was a bad decision for her not. If you don't stand on your lineage business, to me, you don't have no shot. But listen to what she's saying now about what she gonna do now that, she's looking for employment right now. Check it out.
And Crockezies.
Question number 2 is from Kimberly. What will you do after your next term? There is no next term. This is the term. So my term ends in January. I'm gonna be doing a few things here and there. Some of what I've done as I've been kind of off the radar is engage in conversations. I just want to point out to y'all that prior to coming to Congress, I know it drives MAGA crazy, but I'm a whole lawyer. So I will potentially go back to practicing law. I'm engaged in conversations with some law firms about what that would look like.
But can y'all see how she was acting out here on the streets can make law firms or people be like, I don't want that associated with my business, and I may get backlash for some things you saying out your mouth. So unless she go to them people who was actually, she was pushing for it, I think all of that loud is gonna come back to bite her.
I want to be semi-flexible as it relates to the practice of law, because I absolutely want to get to this book. that will be, it'll feel like a thriller to me, child, because I've lived this life. But I definitely want to get to this book. We've had publishers that have reached out for some time, wanting me to do a book for a very long time. We also have some podcast conversations that we'll be engaging in. We'll see about political commentating. I would love to show up in the classroom and actually do a little professor thing here and there.
So basically, y'all see, it's like writing a book, podcasting. It's, trying to generate an income. All right, that's what she's basically saying. I don't think there'll be a law firm. If she was gonna do law, she's gonna have to be doing law. And I mean, I seen some lawyers on YouTube, but she's trying to be this little celebrity political figure, and you got to be pushing the right content. We got people out here that's pushing content that's for our people, so the people support. The little hats been doing a lot of pimping on our women. Is they get them and they have them on a whole nother direction. Like, you supposed to really be tapped into the community, and we supposed to be aligned where we feel you, but we don't have that with our black politicians. It's kind of like they pushing another narrative, and that's how it is with Jasmine Crockett. It's like she doesn't have our total support, because we know that she got to chase the money. And that's what she's saying right now. Podcasting, book, political commentary. It's, for her to generate her income.
And what's giving you the greatest hope?
I have many sources of heartburn right now. I mean, where do we start? We are looking at the most callous, corrupt, and incompetent presidential administration we've ever experienced. And all things that then flow from that, we are experiencing, right? What gives me heartburn? The fact that this man is trying to distract from the fact that he said on day one he was going to bring down prices, and of course he lied. And is doing nothing to concern himself with the well-being of working people of America, while he helps all of his rich friends and puts money in his own pocket and the pocket of his own family, trying to run from the Epstein files all the while. And then, because of his relationship and just getting persuaded by Bibi Netanyahu, enters a war the American people don't want. Where do I start? Let me just say, if I might, on that point about this war. As Vice President of the United States, I met with over 150 world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. Many of them multiple times. We formed relationships. I have spent countless hours in the Situation Room, in my office, in the West Wing of the White House, and in the Oval Office. And I will share with all the friends here what we know, but to just reinforce, this man has made America weaker. He has caused us, because he is the first president, Republican or Democrat, since World War II, to not concern himself, much less, he thumbs his nose at the importance of America's alliances, our friendships, and he thumbs his nose at America's responsibility to uphold standards such as sovereignty and territorial integrity. See Ukraine. And so what he has done, not to mention what he's done to cut USAID and what that means for people on the continent of Africa and so many other places around the world. And what he has done has caused us to become more unreliable and to lose our influence, to then be able, imperfect though we certainly are, flawed though we certainly are, to be able to talk about matters of human rights around the world. The lingering impact of so much of what is happening out of this White House is something we are going to have to deal with for a very long time. And that's why I am focused right now, as much as anything, and what gives me hope, Leah, is that we're going to win the midterms. It's going to be difficult. And I know all the folks here know, and all the sisters from the Colored Girls who I'm looking at right now, Mignon in particular. We're going to win the midterms, but it's going to be so difficult. But this is what I would say to all the friends. It's really important, yes, that we pay attention to the crises of this moment, focus on winning the midterms, even though they're trying to make it more difficult for folks to vote. And as we walk and chew gum at the same time, let's focus on what we must do when we are in power.
Right.
And understand that our vision has to be, as it will directly impact the leaders in this room with your work that you have always done and will do, what we have to have a vision for in terms of affordable childcare, affordable healthcare, affordable housing, and have a vision that is about actually getting this stuff done, recognizing that at some point this administration will be termed out and there's going to be a whole lot of debris. And I would caution us against talking about rebuilding with any sense of nostalgia about how things were. Because even before, they weren't working so well for a lot of folks. And so we're going to have to be clear-eyed, and that's the leadership in this room that our nation is going to count on, to say, we're not going to go back to just trying to bring back the status quo, the thing that you worked well in and made you comfortable. We've got to upend some of this stuff to actually get this work done, including, again, healthcare, childcare, what we need to do around housing. There has to be a vision that is about what we do when we're in power, because it's one thing to know how to fight the power. It's another thing to be in power and own that power. And I know everybody in this room knows what it means to be in power.
Kamala Harris is going to say that the little hats kind of got Trump into the war, when we know that the little hats control the Democrat Party too. But check this out. Check out what Kamala is saying, and look at the candidates that we gonna have in the Democratic Party that's running. Let's get it.
Now to early 2028 presidential positioning, with some Democrat candidates visiting swing states. Today, 4 of those Democratic hopefuls speaking at Michigan's Democratic Party convention. MS Now reporter Nnamdi Egwuonwu is in Detroit, where Kamala Harris just spoke. So welcome, Nnamdi. What is her message today to the Democrats there? Are voters thinking about 2028 yet?
Alex, you'd be surprised. Many are. You know, many of the voters we spoke to, as well as elected officials, delegates, they resent the fact that Kamala Harris did not win this state during the 2024 election, and they want to change that moving forward. Kamala Harris herself, I got to tell you, seeing her take the stage, seeing her, the excitement she still generates among people in this state, it makes clear that she still is, as polling suggests, one of the Democratic frontrunners, one of the probably most high-profile contenders we see with regard to 2028. As far as what we heard from her, she was not in any way hesitant to attack Donald Trump, from everything from what she called his penchant for using military action to distract from controversial things like the Epstein files, also criticizing him for his handling of the economy and suggesting that he is now embarrassing America on the global stage. I want to play for you a portion of her remarks so you can see that she wasn't afraid to throw some punches today. Take a listen.
He entered a war, got pulled into it by Bibi Netanyahu, let's be clear about that, entered a war that the American people do not want, putting at risk American service members, and among the many consequences of it, it includes jacking up the cost of gas so that on average Americans are paying at least $15 more to fill up their tank. Diesel costs 50% more.
So Alex, so far today, in addition.
So, yeah, we see Kamala Harris is the same thing that Biden was saying when he was in office, saying that he's gonna get gas down. Trump saying the same thing. We're not caring about none of this. We just want tangibles for us, just like other cultures got, because politicians are just lied to you and act like, you know, they're not down with the same people that Trump is. Okay, we understand that they run in both parties right now. This is just how we feel. Okay, the community, the grassroots. So it's just crazy to me that she's gonna put this on BB when we know, you know, they playing the right and the left, in my opinion. But I want to know what y'all think about this, man. Kamala Harris is getting a lot of backlash from the grassroots movement, her and Jasmine Crockett. It's so bad that I don't think that they can run and win anything. I don't think that it's possible. It's too much chaos going on their names. Shout out to Black Alpha Network, man, who pulled up to Kamala Harris event and made a presence, made an impact, made everybody understanding this is how we feel. So I don't think she's gonna run in 2028. I just feel like it's too much backlash. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
A community must have 3 things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things
You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.